Billy Slater under pressure. DCE should be axed. What's happened? State of Origin 1, the worst origin ever. Absolute rubbish of a game. New South Wales got it done, but the goal kicking was atrocious. The second half was an absolute rubble. Cameron Smith must be scratching his head on the coaching box with Jonathan Thurston. What's doing absolute mayhem. It was absolutely a boring build-up to this origin. The Queensland played like they were under eights. So was the goal kicking of New South Wales. It was an absolute rubble. Queensland attack and the handling areas was just off the chain. So what happens after Origin 1, the review show right here, right now? It's a time for Dearden to take his spot and DC to say au revoir. Does Reece Walsh come back in? Will Selwyn Cobbo get a game? No chance. And does Queensland land a bit more grunt up front? Do they bring the likes of Jaydn, Jaydn and the likes back into the team? Well, let's check it all here right now on your favourite rugby league channel, Barry Charles Footy Show. Remember to like the video and subscribe as we continue to grow this channel for the game you love. Yes, yes indeed, it's all happening right here, right now. Well, what was the highlight of the game, folks? Well, pretty much this is how much of a highlight this game was, that Eddie Farah, yes, the New South Wales trainer, kicks the ball dead when Queensland were on the hunt for a try. Was the highlight of the game, with Ashley Klein telling him to get off the field. He'd do it again, see you later, like a schoolboy or a dad telling his son, don't do it again, son, or you'll be removed from the family, or you'll be stuck in your room, something like that. Absolute rubbish. Just the game was stupid, and including the sin bin, the 10-minute sin bin of Brian Toho. He was going for the ball, and then obviously the player was in the road, so obviously he's going to be there in the tackle. To me, if it was going to be anything, it should have been a penalty try, not 10 minutes in the bin. I think if you're going to give one or the other, the penalty try for me would have been the one to give when he was taken out of the air. Very much like the grand final, Jamie Aidscoe with Parramatta. I mean, with the Storm back in the day. That was what it reminded me of, that grand final, the Storm try that McGuire got. That's where I thought it should have gone, but it didn't happen. But that's rugby league. DCE, the oldest player in the game, well, it'll be his last game if it was me. Absolutely choked. The whole spine choked, folks. Yes. Munster tried his hardest, no doubt about it. He was at least trying, but the other three were not even in sync. Were they even playing, folks? Did you notice Ponga, DCE, or Harry Grant in this game? Harry Grant, his worst game of his career, absolutely was diabolical. I don't know what happened there. He was definitely underdone, and clearly probably should not have been playing. So a lot of question marks in terms of the future there. Yeah, so Billy Slater had no words. He potentially could be on the sacking if he loses again in Perth. It was just absolutely atrocious. Was there any positives to Queensland? I thought Tino's return was pretty good. I thought Lindsay Collins was outstanding off the bench. Yeah, but really it was a long, long night for the Queensland fans. Really, New South Wales really should have won by 50. Should Reece Walsh come back in? Should Murray Talangi come in? Should Selwyn Cobbo come in? Does Jaydn come in? Does other players come in? To me, players that absolutely failed. Well, Footy was okay, but just not enough for Mann. Bofuma and Trent Lalera, both on debut. Bofuma, they just could not get it done. They didn't bring any impact. And really, they need to bring back the cavalry, and they got plenty. Another positive was Jeremiah Nanai. He was outstanding for Queensland. Absolutely outstanding. He was your attacking threat all night. I don't know what was happening. What about Xavier Coates? I don't know what was happening there. But, yeah, so some changes may be needed. Does Ben Hunt come back? If he hasn't played any games, it'll be the same scenario as Harry Grant. He's expected to probably be ready by Origin time. But whether or not you want to take a risk with a hamstring player, in the squad. I'm not 100% sure. Don't worry, we'll get to New South Wales shortly, but this is what I'd do right here, right now, if I was Billy Slater. Question mark over this one, but I don't know which way to go. But Reece Walsh will bring more in attack than Kalyn Ponga. Kalyn Ponga is absolutely whimpering. I don't know what's happening. I think he needs to leave the night. Something's going wrong. Or he needs to go to rugby. He needs to do something because he is absolutely off the chain. His worst season. I don't know what's happening with Kalyn Ponga. So I'll put Reece Walsh back in. I just think confidence. He would just bring more confidence. On the wings, Xavier Coates will keep his spot. I think Robert Toyer deserves to keep his spot. But Valentine Holmes, no thank you. No chance for Valentine Holmes. I don't think he deserves to keep his spot. And Hammer obviously keep his spot, and I think you bring in Selwyn Cobbo on the wing for mine, but they'll probably bring Murray Taulagi in, but Selwyn Cobbo is who I'd go with. Cameron Munster, I think he holds a spot for now, but he's no definite long term. He's playing pretty bad. Tom Dearden's got to come and see him. He just has to. There's no Sam Walker at the moment, so Tom Dearden is the logical selection at the moment. I think DCE gets dropped. I think they've got to make some changes here in the front row. Patrick Carrigan goes to prop. I think he just has to go to prop with Tino. I think it's just, that makes sense. They need the best props they've got. Here's their best prop. Now, this is a bit of the question mark. Do you bring another injured player in? I think Ben Hunt has more experience. I think you just got to put him in. Ben Hunt, regardless if he's playing or not, he goes in. Jaydn Sewer, I think he's got to bounce back into this side with Jeremiah and Nanai. They just need a bit more class, a bit more grunt in this team. Kurt Mann into the starting team and 13. That's why I put Carrigan. I think Kurt Mann needs to come into the squad. Then the bench, you always have Harry Grant. Then you have a Jai Arrow, Ruben Cotter, and Lindsay Collins. Just bring them all impact off the bench. Jai Arrow will bring something. Ruben Cotter will bring leg speed. And Lindsay Collins will do his thing. They need better. They were weak bench-wise, Queensland, the first game. They got it completely wrong. Both of them was either going to start or not be in there. He's not really an impact player. He has to start or not on the team. Trent Leniu, yeah, again, both of them, not saying they were bad, they didn't get much game time, but at the end of the day, sometimes you get a chance in Origin. If you fail miserably. So, question marks for Queensland going forward. Well, the Blues, how was it for the Blues? First half was outstanding. The second half was pretty rusty. But the goal kicking, what was happening? Nathan Cleary was missing it from everywhere. And then Zach Lomax has a kick and he misses from next to the post. It reminds me of Stacey Jones back in the day for the Warriors. Matthew Ridge, I believe, missed from front. But there's some craziness going there. But Cleary, he was good. He was excellent outside the goal kicking. But he's got a chance to start putting himself in the immortal status. And he can demand the series and win it. Moses was quite quiet. He is probably the only, if you're going to say anyone from the starting team that's under pressure, I don't think he will be. They'll pick him. But if I was, I would say, put it this way. If Luo was in the team, I think New South Wales win by 50. He would have just absolutely just run hard, find the gaps. And that's what Nathan Cleary was doing the running. Mitchell Moses, I'm not sure what was happening. I think it was hard for him to get into the game. Much with Cleary dominant, and I think that's why they missed out a bit on maybe getting more points. Lomax, well, him and Toho, Crichton and Mitchell, they're just locks. No room for Turbo. The only way Turbo's getting in this team now is if there's injury, obviously. But he could only go in for Dylan Edwards. He's not going to go in for Dylan Edwards, so that's the conversation. But in my opinion, I'll put Turbo in front of Edwards. But you wouldn't change a winning team pretty much. So go to the forward pack here. Well, Huss and Barrett, they just did their job as you expect. Robson, he was reliable. No frills football. Angus Crichton and Liam Martin just did what they normally do well. But attacking wise, maybe that's where there a little bit of question marks. They didn't do much in an attack. And I say was just another prop forward pretty much for this game. The bench, this is probably where you could improve New South Wales if you were going to change the team a little bit here. Spencer Leniu didn't really do much. Connor Watson barely played. So you could bring someone else in, the Tommy Turbo, someone with a little bit more leg speed. But Connor Watson's probably they're gonna pick him anyway. But just looking at what they could do, Colin Matangi, I think he's the key player in this situation. I think he can bring more to the team. Hudson Young will keep his spot. And so will Maxwell King, even though I think he could put a Stefano and then in front of him. He's not going to get dropped. Terrell May, an opportunity. I think it's an opportunity. I don't think they'll change the team at all. But Spencer Leniu was quite quiet for his normal doing, and you could have probably brought someone else in. But maybe Spencer will bring it in the next game. So, yeah, I don't see much changes for New South Wales unless there's an injury. And to be completely honest, congratulations, Laurie Daly. Well done to you, sir. Congratulations. Yes. But we need some more action off the field, folks. And how are we going to get action off the field? It's all on Cobbo. When Cobbo doesn't get selected in game 2, Chamis needs to go hunting Gorden Tallis and go. He does not like Cobbo. They had they didn't have a fisticuff, but they just don't like each other. Simple as that. That's why he's not going to get picked, and he'll never get picked again for Queensland. Cobbo, I think there needs to be a truce there. Get on with it. If he's the best player to be playing, you put Cobbo in. Otherwise, it's going to be 3-0 to the Blues. As I said, this was a game that Queensland could have won. Queensland had the opportunity to win this game. They just choked. Absolutely choked. The second half was there for the taking. They could have won that game. Blues weren't like blowing them away or anything. The first half they were. The second half, Queensland probably had the majority of the opportunities and they just could not convert. Could not convert. Not in the Blues, to be honest. Munster, I couldn't see him dropping him, but I can see them dropping DCE. They need something else. They need some more direction and attack. I mean, it's just absolutely rubbish what DCE has been tossing up. It just reminds me a bit of the old school Sean Johnson when he was just passing on the inside, running sideways and passing, not actually digging into the line. DCE hasn't done that for a while, probably the last couple of years in my opinion. He needs to do that like Thurston used to do. They need that. Tommy Dearden will do that all day, every day. Dearden for number 7 Origin 2, you have the exclusive right here. He will be in there. And if he's not, New South Wales win the series. Anyway, that's Barry Charles Footy Show for this episode. Hope you enjoyed the review show. We'll be back with another video soon. Lachlan Galvin at the Bulldogs.